Awesome. Hello, welcome to the program. We're so excited for you to be a part of the Queen's Code Mastermind. I've got Allison here so that she can explain a little bit more about it and tell you the steps to take next. And we're just so thrilled to have you here with us. So take it away, Allison.
Thanks, Paige. Okay, I'm really looking forward to being with you all live on the Zoom sessions. And some things that we've learned from we didn't do it quite like this. This is so much better what Paige is providing than what I've ever attempted before, which is why I'm really excited to do it. So there are three different components. One is the audiobook itself. One is your mastermind group, and one is the live sessions with me that will be recorded, and you'll have access to the recordings whether you're there live or not. And there's also this other small part, which is if you can't be there and you have a question for me, you can email the questions to Paige and she'll ask them for you. Something else I haven't done before. So this is special. So for the audiobook, we're going to have 1 to 2 chapters a week that we're working on. And so I think at the most you'd have like 2.5 hours to listen to. And I find it's really cool to listen to it while doing something else. And I will be listening to it every week for you guys as well. So I'm fresh with it, but I like to wash dishes and dust and brush my dog. And yeah, it's wonderful. So that's not necessarily, time you're sitting. And then you're going to have an hour with your pod your mastermind pod each week that you'll schedule with your pod mates. And then you'll have the 1.5 hours with me where you'll get to ask questions and listen to the responses to other people's questions. And that's something I actually consider my job. Like, you don't have to worry if anybody else wants to know this. It's my job to have it make a difference for everybody else. You just represent you. You honor you in the asking of questions. And you're going to have prompts to interact with the information in the book, just like the characters in the book do. And you'll get to do that with your pod mates, and you'll get to know what questions you have, and you might elect one of your pod mates to ask all your pods questions if you want, especially if you feel shy about asking something, you could do that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's all of those components. And then, okay, so about listening to the audiobook. It's fine for you to listen to all or part of the audiobook the moment you get it. I wouldn't blame you. And it's hard to stop. It's really hard to stop. But when we start July 12th, re-listen to, if you've already listened to it, re-listen to chapter 1 and 2 and make note of your questions for chapters 1 and 2, because that's what we'll be addressing in our first session on July 12th. And then keep going as we're going. How come I want you to make note of your questions is because if you ask a question that's from a future chapter, first of all, spoiling the story for people. So when Jack does this, I'm going to push mute. That's from chapter 5 or chapter 6. Don't be going there now in chapter 2.
So we're on a journey together.
We're on a journey. Don't get ahead. Okay. We'll push you over the boat in the water if you get ahead. Just kidding. But that's the discipline that I ask you to have. And I will support you in that because I'll have the magic mute button and you might be making a mistake. The other thing is, if you've read the book before, I need you to listen to the audiobook. I recorded it and released it last year. And people who read the book are getting so much more out of the audiobook because, and I didn't realize this at a time, and Paige, I may never print another book again because
the audiobooks are so awesome. Yeah.
Well, and everything I've ever printed, people are reading it through their own filters of, and then I found out like even Jack, in the most intense interaction that Jack is having with himself about what Kimberly said, that people were skewing it by how they thought a man would be about that instead of how he actually was about it. right? So it's really important to listen to the audiobook, even if you have read the Queen's Code. So I would say that if you're adding it all up together, if you want to do this in real time, it takes about 5 hours a week to do it as we're doing it. And I think that's all about the Queen's Code Master.
And then
right?
just as far as logistics, you're going to just wait for the emails. We're going to set you up in a pod of your 6 or 8 people. We're going to send you, just a week before, we're going to send you the workbook, and we don't want you to go ahead in the workbook because that's just
another spoiler.
I think,
don't go ahead in the workbook. Yeah,
but you can definitely listen, but just get on track with us. That's a really big thing. And then as soon as you register, you're going to get a welcome email and everything, but then within a week, you're going to get the audiobook. And to get the audiobook, you need to download the Alison Armstrong app. And then
can I walk them through that part?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, please.
Okay, we've made it for as simple as possible for you, and especially just to not have to navigate our website. We've been in business since 1995. It's a monster. So if I had it on my way, you would just stay in Paige's bubble. She will take care of you. So all you have to do is go to the app or Android store and Google Play and download the Alison Armstrong mobile app. You just have to put in Alison Armstrong, 1L, ALISON, Armstrong, and download the app. And then you will have received an email from our company, from AlisonArmstrong.com, customer care at AlisonArmstrong.com. You'll get an email. In that email, it will have a username and a password. So we're assigning this for you, so you don't have to set up an account at our website. So you'll get your own username and password, log into the mobile app. Just ignore our website. You'll get the email, log into the mobile app. Once you log into the mobile app, if you click on audiobooks, you'll see the Queen's Code and it'll give you the choice, download and listen. If it says preview, it means you haven't logged in. And so everything's happening with Paige, money-wise, logistics-wise. She gives us our name, we create the username and password and email it to you. And then you're on your way on the mobile app and you can listen to it. Now I'll tell you a trick. Well, I don't know if it's a trick, but it's important. Once you log in, don't log out.
Yeah.
Just don't log out. That way, even when you don't have Wi-Fi service, you'll be able to access the book and listen to it anywhere. If you log out and you don't have Wi-Fi, then your phone or whatever you're listening on won't be able to log in to our website to know that you're supposed to be having this. So just stay logged in. It won't be, it's all protected. You don't have to worry about it, but just stay logged in.
Yeah, perfect.
You have to keep it open. Just stay logged in.
Perfect. So 2 other things, you're going to be meeting on clarityzoom.com for all the Q&As with Alison. And that's at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays, starting July 11th, 12th. And we're going to let you know and remind you that one of the days in August is at 10 o'clock. It's the first week in August, but we'll remind you of that. So clarityzoom.com. It's super easy to go to. The other thing is for your pod. You're going to be meeting with your pod, but you're going to just figure out on text or on WhatsApp, decide which one you're going to use. What time works for all of you. We want it to just be an easy time that works for your group. And you can all just press call on either the text or the WhatsApp, and it just calls your entire group. So it's an easy way for you to get on a group call together, discuss the questions, the chapter, your experiences, that kind of thing. And we have that all laid out for you in the workbook. So you're going to have that set up. So other than that,
can I say something about that?
Yeah.
I realize that they'll run into one before the other because we don't want them to go ahead. So when you're listening to the Queen's Code audiobook, you'll hear Karen, one of the characters who's a teacher and who desperately wants to teach us information. she has this ritual of making notes from the session, of making flip charts. She's picturing like that she's teaching people. So she's laying it all out in her own words and organization. And then there are also assignments from Claudia that she tells Kimberly and Karen to do. So as you're listening to it, you may think, oh, I got to rewind this and get every word of this. All those words are reprinted in your workbook. So you don't have to worry about getting them written down. They're going to be right there for you to see in the workbook, which is another reason why don't go ahead in the workbook, because it'll give away things in the story that, you get to be read a story. And it's a romantic story, and it's an emotional story, and it's a sentimental story, and and sometimes it takes such courage for the characters in the story, but then there's healing and revelation. And if you skip ahead, those are the things you're likely to skip. And that's what we most want you to have, is that healing and revelation and the hope that comes out of it, and the freedom to become more you in your interactions with men and women, and even with yourself.
Yeah. So welcome to the journey of compassion, of courage, of understanding, of love. And we're just so happy to have you with us. Thank you so much, Allison, for being here with us today, and for being on this journey with us, and for creating this incredible masterpiece. So we're excited to dive in with you, and reach out if you have any other questions, but hopefully this answered most of them.
Yes.
So,
all right. See you soon.
bye.